All right. Oh, look, there's already somebody here waiting. Mrs. ATS News. What a great live. Let me make some adjustments on my mic. Hold on. Thank you for showing up, Miss ATS News. I know you're very tired. You can go to sleep. I'm sure Debbie will be here shortly, but such a great live tonight. Hopefully that's not too loud, but if you need to stay, I'll be quiet. You can listen to the fire and the crickets and probably doze off to a great sleep. Oh, Mrs. ATS News, I know you're a very busy lady. So if you don't ever want to be a mod, all you have to say is, I don't want to be a mod. I would understand because you got a big channel. It takes a lot to do all that stuff that you do. Miss Bella Blaney is here. We were looking for you, Bella. We were really worried. Hold on, let me make you a mod, Bella. That stupid heart is in the way, and I can't. Hold on a second, Bella. There's the lovely, incredible Debbie Fox. All right, Bella, you probably are a mod now, too. Miss Bella Blaney, that's Mrs. ATS News award-winning YouTube channel for her documentary on a case that you were watching, and Debbie knows a lot about that case of Chris Watts. That's Mrs. ATS News. She's got big views on her Chris Watts case. But a lot of people were worried about you, Miss Bella. You haven't done a video in 3 months. People were really worried. No, that's okay, Miss Bella. Oh, Miss Bella, if you don't want a wrench, I'll take your wrench. It's no biggie. I know you ladies are very busy ladies. Let's see what AT Bella, nice to meet you. Yes, Bella does a whole bunch of thrift store and dollar store hauls, and she also did some stuff with Summer Wells case with another channel, I believe. Which, boy, has the Summer Wells case turned into a zoo. Oh my God, I love thrift shops and dollar store. Yeah, she does all that stuff. Debbie does all the planting of succulents and animals. I think Debbie's got her own hawk. Ladies, is the fire too loud or the crickets too loud? Just let me know if it's too loud and I'll turn it down. You can hear the fire and the crickets. Yes, I think about that little girl all the time. Oh, you mean Summer? I don't mind it, but I do hate wondering all the time what happened to Summer. Whew, there's another case that is just flabbergasting. You got the parents that were mixed up with drugs. You got the parents saying that it was the Mexican mafia that got her. It was just horrible. It's okay with Johnny. I'm going to tell my thoughts. Go ahead. You ladies go right ahead. ATS knows Bella has one super silly puppy. Yes. Shady community and weird church. Then Jose dies. Yes, and now they're saying Jose very well might not be dead, faked his own death. I think the mom, Candace, knows exactly what happened to that little girl. Yep. You know, Bella, I always thought maybe that her and the kids were swinging on that giant swing in her backyard, and that she slammed into the tree because it seemed like the whole one side of her body was, her head and stuff, bruised. But then again, it could have been the lake. She could have drowned or something. Maybe they were goofing around in the lake and something happened. I don't know. But supposedly she made it home. So it's not possible they were swinging on that giant swing and slammed into the tree. I think it was some kind of an accident, and that she wouldn't take her to the hospital due to other abuse, possibly. Or maybe the mother herself was drunk or messed up on things and just didn't want to. They are, wasn't child care or whatever already looking into the family. Yeah, death possible. Yeah, definitely possible. Way too many possibilities. With some case, I knew got stuck on one theory. Yeah. What was funny was all these YouTubers actually packed up and went to go visit them. And I was shocked by that. I'm like, why are you getting... Well, I guess Benny Keys already knew downloads before all this happened. Some of these YouTube creators already knew. And I always thought maybe, I don't know, maybe Don was the drug man or something. I don't know. ATS News, I am not stuck on one theory either. But I do believe the mother knows. Probably, probably. You know that video where Candace asked whoever it is, and I'll tell you what, it don't even sound like Grandma Candace. In the car that day with her, sounds like someone else. But she asked somebody, is Summer still moving her hand up and down? She wasn't moving at all in that video that I saw. Oh my God, Johnny, have you seen what Crack and Case just put out? No, what? Is it about me? God. What'd they put out? What is it? Debbie, do you have your tea? Do you ladies need a cup of sleep time tea? Just let me know. I'll put some in chat for you. Oh, the title is Fred Hill, Uncle Daddy. Yes. God, Debbie's phone's about ready to go down. Yeah, I don't. It's kind of crazy stuff. In someone else's case too. But Delphi, you know what, Mrs. ATS News? If I ever get out of control with questions or answers in your chat, please let me know. And I'll do my job and tell people to hit the like button for our award-winning 20-time YouTube champion CNN documentary made of you and Miss ATS News. Hit the thumbs up. Nope, love all your comments. Chat was lovely. Them too, loving them too. Yeah, thanks. Thanks. Here's the interesting thing. How did these people know that they would have that much time to do what they did? How did they know that the girls were not there with their father, their mothers, or other girls that might have been looking for them instantly when either they weren't with the rest of the pack, or how did they know that they would have enough time to do this? And the only thing I can think of is it is very possible that they might have took the girls to a different place. And when they did do the first search that night, the girls weren't there. It's very possible. I'm not taking it off the table. I am not taking it off the table. And I'm not taking off Keegan Kline off the table. I know people are saying Keegan Kline is a past thing. He don't play a part in this. Oh, contrarian Frere. I think Keegan Kline played a big part in this. That would explain why 7 charges were dropped. And you know what I keep saying is, even if he didn't do it, my God, people, they said he had over 200 photos of young girls and nudes. I mean, he played a part somewhere, whether it be letting someone know. I mean, he's guilty of that much. I ain't taking him off of the table. He played a part in it. He catfished the girls. He might even let these people know that the packages were on their way to the bridge. Enter Richard Allen or whoever bridge guy was and whoever the voice guys are. And I knew it. This ATS News, go back and look at my videos. I said it. There's way more video and way more recording than 49 seconds. And everybody was saying, nope, that's it. And I'm like, impossible. Because the police said that the girls succumbed to death on that video. And you can't get from the top of that bridge to where the girls were at in 49 seconds. So either the girls passed away right on top of the bridge and the killers or killer had to carry them girls all the way there to that spot. Because now they're saying there's almost 2 minutes. I thought there was 49 minutes. When this case first broke out here in Indiana, I could have swore I heard the police say there was 49 minutes of recording. Or 39 minutes. Almost a little over a half hour of recording. But the video was too gory, and the police also said, and was questioned at the press release, and he was questioned by a reporter, was Abby and Libby's and the bridge guy the only voices on the tape? And I believe it was Doug Carter that said no, there was numerous voices on the recording other than Abby and Libby's. So Very interesting. And I knew it. I was telling people, no, there's more than 39 seconds. And people were getting mad. No, there ain't. There's only 39 or 49 seconds. I'm like, no, there's more video. Because you can't, them girls must have been gone just like that. As soon as he walked up, they were gone. If that was all the video, 39 seconds, 49 seconds, then this scenario happened way differently than what these other YouTube creators are telling us. Because the police said they believe the girls succumbed to death, that's why they did not release all of it. It was too gory. So I was listening to the clues that the police were dropping, and they did drop a lot of. Another thing that was interesting in that case was I'm watching sheriffs on video say that after the search, the sheriff got a call at 2 o'clock in the morning, and it was somebody telling them that the phone pinged, and that was after the search was called off. Now people are trying to say, well, it pinged at 5 o'clock or whatever, but that's not true, because the police said that they couldn't get a hold of the girls, and the parents said they tried to call the girls, but the phone was turned off. So that whole thing didn't add up. And the sheriff that was in that documentary said real late at night, about 2 o'clock in the morning, he got a call, and they said what? That they got pings from the phone. So how did that happen? Yeah, I need that. I'll be easy on it because I heard that meant it took till 2 a.m. to get the info on the last ping, but I don't know what to think. Same with Bullet. Well, this is ATS News in the beginning of this case. They released that phone was pinging all over town real late at night. That disappeared. And a lot of people called me crazy. They didn't say that. Yes, they did. That the phone was pinging all over town that night off the towers. Now, can you tell me how the police tried to contact the girls? They couldn't. There was no answer. They thought the phone was dead or turned off. The mother and father and all the family tried to contact the girls, could not get a hold of them. The phone was, they thought, either turned off because it was sending no signals, or someone turned it off or the battery went dead. That's exactly what they said. Then how come they get pings at 5 o'clock? How come there's pings at 2 o'clock when the sheriff says they got a call late at night at 2 o'clock in the morning with another person telling them they just got pings off of the phone? Yeah, very interesting. And then in the beginning of this case, people claimed that the phone was pinging all over town. So it's possible, very possible, that the killer had the phone. If the killer had the phone, I hate to say this, if the killer had the phone and knew what he was doing, it's very well possible that the video we seen was actually a setup. The killer or killers could have had the phone. And whoever was walking down that bridge that day could have been used as an scapegoat. Or was the killer coming to do the job? And the other people already had the girls or the girl's phone. Possibly, we've seen that in the Gabby Petito case, where for like 3 weeks, people thought they were talking to Gabby, but it wasn't Gabby. Gabby was already passed away. It was Brian that had her phone. I'm going to ask Criminality to do seen this criminality at your channel tonight. Yes, Bella, it's very interesting because the police claim they couldn't get a hold of the girls and the family couldn't get a hold of the girls. They thought someone either turned the phone off or the batteries went dead. Yep, and if this was premeditated, like I think, and organized, online, then maybe they were using phone to confuse things. Maybe. We don't know. It was fishy because there was other girls out there. Why didn't Bridge Guy kill them? They were smaller than Abby and Libby supposedly. Or why didn't he do them? They were there. What about Dog Lady? Why didn't he just pick Dog Lady? Right? Flannel Man. He was walking out there. Why didn't he pick Flannel Man? A lot of unanswered questions. And you know what? Till this day, they keep asking Doug Carter, do you think you have the right guy? And he keeps saying, well, the judge signed the thing. Right? He ain't saying that he thinks they got the right guy. And then when the reporters ask him, do you think there's more people? He always says this case is ongoing and we're looking into more tips. And if we have to make more arrests, we will. I'm sorry, but I think Keegan Klein might have been a catfisher. He's the one that sold the accounts or was giving the accounts out. He created the account. No one else. Keegan Klein is the one that created the Anthony Shots account. So whoever was using Anthony Shots account, Keegan Klein knew because no one else had authority but Keegan Klein because he was the sole creator of the catfish account. I'm not taking Keegan Klein off of the table. I'm sorry. A lot of people are pissed, throwing him to the side of himself. He plays his part. He was what Sloopy Goosey, Mrs. Sloopy Goosey said. Right? He was, and you said that too, Mrs. ATS News, that he was talking to the girls in his regular account as him with his real face. But then he had the Anthony Shots fake account. So he was a Jekyll and Hyde. He was a Jekyll and Hyde. Let me see what Mrs. Bella Blaney says. I'm confused about the whole situation. And that said a lot because I deal in cases daily, and this one has me stumped. You don't want to get into this one, Miss Bella Blaney. This case is almost demonic. It just twists and turns. I think maybe Humanimal was on something. Maybe it's witchery or sorcery or something. I don't know, maybe. If I am too loud, ladies, let me know. If the fire's too loud or the crickets or anything, let me know. I probably should fix that fire or the camera because it's kind of leaning over. it looked lopsided. I was looking at it, I'm like, either my head is lopsided or the camera is. The fire is beautiful, yes. I thought a couple fireplaces, but I'm sorry, they were at a garage sale. When you see a good deal, you gotta buy them. I got one in the front room, and I bought like a real new one of the newer ones for the bedroom. So I'm all set for this winter. ATS says, yeah, he leaves the door way too open for me to think lone wolf. Yeah. No, I'm not saying. One person could have been the killer. But somebody that was using that account knew the girls were going to be there and knew. How did they know that they would have time to do that and stage the bodies and do whatever sick thing they did to them? How would they have known that? How would they have known they had that much time and somebody was? How did they know they wouldn't be there without family or even other friends? Yeah, I do think it's very well possible there could have been many players in the game. It was a very huge risk. And Mrs. ATS News, you were asking, do you think Richard walked home? Walked there and then walked home. Very risky. For one, a very risky kill. Broad daylight. People on the bridge. People there. He had to be covered in blood. To walk home, he would have had to change clothes. Too much of a risk. Now, people are saying, well, he could have took the woods all the way there. He could have. But the woods were also filled with mud. He would have been covered. He would have been covered in mud. There would have been evidence of a trail coming out of there. True. Even his car being as far. Yeah. Oh, that was a big risk. What do I think? I think the people that were there that day very well could have been players in the game as fake witnesses, possibly. Or, like I said before, I watch a lot of stupid, crazy stuff on YouTube now that I have a disability and I'm home in the winter. And in the summer, I cut grass for an older lady and gentleman. But very risky to park that far away and take the risk of being seen. And we know that he had to have some kind of blood on him because of the wounds were very bloody. Now, whether he came prepared, he would have had some kind of the girls on him, DNA, whatever, hair, skin, fingerprints, whatever. Too risky to walk. He would have had to take the old trail out of there. Or he wasn't parked where they said. There might have been a vehicle they were interested in there, parked. But it's very well he could have been parked at the cemetery and walked in. There's numerous ways to get in there. Numerous ways. Heck, I can't believe the girls just didn't run down that trail that the bridge is on, that wide trail all the way to the end there. It leads right to that house. right to them other houses out there. They could have ran there, knocked on the door. They could have ran around and hooked around. I think there's even a trail that hooks around. And there's a big gate there that opens up. They could have got out there. They could have ran. Here's my whole thing. This ain't adding up, ladies. Because as soon as, any teenage girls, as soon as they get that gut feeling, they're women, they're just young women, that they're in danger. Why did they not run or scream? Is it possible they knew him? So they felt comfortable. Once he got closer, they're like, oh, well, that's the guy that works at CVS. But if it was Richard Allen, and I can't make that determination. I need something closer. And I know there's closer footage of Bridge Guy to where we can say that's Richard Allen. Because I can't say that's Richard Allen 100%, folks. I just can't. Not unless they came to me and said, we got DNA, we got this, and we got closer footage. And it's Richard Allen. It might not, Richard Allen might have been there. We don't know, man. These cases, it could have been a setup. Richard Allen was at the wrong place at the wrong time. We don't know. Yeah, I'm not 100% either yet. Not 100%. No, not yet. If they would have gave me a little bit closer shot. Plus, there's four videos out there. This is ATS News. But they're all the same footage. But the only thing is the way they downloaded them is different. The formats were different. So one format, he looked skinny and tall. The other format, he looked shorter and more thicker, more beef up at the top of his body and in his legs. So that's very interesting. And I seen that on another great creator's channel, Miss Zap Girl. That there's actually 4 different videos, but they were videoed in different formats. Let me see what this fellow said. On a sweet note, Mr. Gentleman, have you heard Jelly Roll sing with Leonard Skinner? No, not yet. No, I haven't, Mrs. Bella. True, even his car being his farm. Yes, I am the same ATS. Where did Sweet Debbie go? Debbie? Sweetie Debbie. Debbie? She might have been asleep. She had to get up early. She might have fallen asleep. Oh, that's another thing, Mrs. ATS News and Mrs. Bella. You know, when this case first came out, they were looking for a red truck and a black PT Cruiser. Ain't it funny how it changed? It was a blue or black 40 feet Focus or whatever. Why did they run when he said down the hill? Unless there was someone else to prevent it. Yeah, and why didn't he say girls instead of guys? Right? That was very interesting. Oh, okay, Debbie. Just checking. There she is. There's our little Debbie Debs. I am here, Bella. I just don't know this case, but I listened to another thing, Mrs. ATS News. In the beginning of this case, there was a box truck or a white van that they were looking for, that someone said was parked out there on the trail. I guess you can open up that gate and you could drive a vehicle back there. There was a white box truck or a white van that they were looking for in the beginning of this case. But it's funny because you can't find any of these videos anymore. It's like they're gone. I remember seeing a video of somebody looking in the woods, and they were like, "Look it, it's a van parked out there, or like a box truck or something." And for a couple of weeks, everyone was debating: is that a van? Is it a white box truck? Is it a van? Is it a work truck? And all that disappeared. I guess it was pareidolia, from what some people were calling it, where people were seeing things. So all this changed because they thought that there was 20 girls there, and it was possibly a trafficking ring. Right? 2 girls passed away, and the other ones were trafficked. And then you had Chadwell that was picked up with a 9-year-old or 10-year-old in his basement, who did many videos saying that he knows the Delphi Bridge in and out. Used to sleep under there when he had nowhere to go. Which I picked Chadwell as voice guy and bridge guy because he has a beefy build, and he had a limp in the right leg, same as bridge guy. What Debbie said. Let's see what little Debbie said. I am here, Bella. Debbie said, I love you too. Who's loving who? Why is everyone getting love? Oh, a lot of love going on in chat. It's what it's supposed to be about: peace, harmony. I wonder, am I starting to aggravate Mrs. Criminality in her chat? Mrs. ATS News. It might be the hat that I'm wearing or something. I like hanging out in her chat. It's a good chat. I'm just gonna shut up. Possibly. They might have been flanked. They might have been flanked from behind. There might have been people out there waiting already. And Bridge Guy was just lured. Then again, I don't know. I wasn't there, so I have no idea. But I can tell you this much. There's a good possibility that Bridge Guy just kept walking on by and was used. Yes, Bella. Yes, Miss Bella is right. Which would mean more than one person. Yes. That would explain how they got away with doing what they did. But they would have needed somebody to make sure that nobody was looking for them right away. Now, here's the thing that I was thinking. Just a theory. They took the girls. It broke on the news at night, early. It broke on the news. Did they see the news? Panic, kill the girls. And then after they seen that the search was called off and everybody left, they went back and deposited the body. Is that possible? That would explain why there was no giant, huge blood trail. Well, there was actually. I think the police now changed it and said they might have been killed and processed in my head as they searched that whole area that night. There was 4-wheelers out there. There was dogs, but not real professional bloodhound cadaver dogs or tracking dogs. They were hunting dogs, but not police trained. And that whole crime scene was contaminated. and stomped on evidence, footprint covered up with leaves and sticks. Right? That's why when a crime scene happens, well, I can't even say that because the police had no idea that they were looking for 2 murders. They were teenage girls. The first thing that popped into their head, maybe they went to a party. Maybe they went to a party or ran away or whatever. You know, teenage girls are. But at 13, 14, I wasn't parties or anything at 13, 14 years old. But again, I have to say, I am so stumped on this case. Yes. Yeah, and it isn't it interesting? They were found after people looked at Ron's property because he said his neighbor asked to search his property during the day. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it if Ron Logan was out there helping search. Do I think Ron Logan played a part in it? I don't know. We haven't heard all the video. If we hear all the video, there might be, like the police said, other voices on there that might connect to Ron Logan. Ron Logan had a Southern Indiana draw. And the voice I'm hearing on the recording don't sound like Ron Logan. It sounds like Chadwell or a YouTube creator, possibly. I'm not going to name names, but and it's his own dang fault for making a voiceover, a bridge guy or voice guy in his documentary, which could have got mixed up with the original recording. Carter says no one cleared. Yeah, he said that numerous times. These YouTubers came out and they claimed they were cleared, but yet all along the police were saying these people have not been cleared. Nobody's been cleared. The only thing I seen Doug Carter say is the people that you think did this have been cleared. Well, what people? And who was he talking to? Sure is. The whole thing is going to be based around the luring, around the catfishing and luring. You know what, man? I'm going to be honest with you. I ain't got no problems with 2 adults that are in love and hot to trot for each other, and they talk sexy or send photos between each other. I got no problem with that when you're an adult. But when you're an adult and you're luring 12 and 13 and 10-year-old girls and 14-year-old girls and talking like that and sending back and forth, then that's where I draw the lines, man. Them are some sickos. And believe me, you're going to find out that this is a problem that's been going on in Indiana for a while. Now, this is a problem that's been going on for actually a long time within the whole United States. The government's been trying to tell us, but nobody listens. She has made bad decisions, and now being called out, it just adds to the confusion. Yeah, even the judges questioned on it, but I think they're going to just stick with the judge. I think they'll probably stick with the judge, and this case will go, and government is intertwined in it. Yeah, they're doing their job. Right? I would believe if it was Ron Logan, the police would have came out, and we would have heard that there's been an arrest in the Delphi case, and it was the arrest was Mr. Ron Logan, Just like we heard that there was an arrest in the Delphi case with Keegan Klein, and then we heard, at least out here at Mrs. ATS News, on the news out here, we heard that Keegan Klein was arrested in the Delphi case and Richard Allen in the Delphi case. And then Mr. Superintendent Doug Carter was questioned. Does he think more people are involved? And he said this is an ongoing case, and we are still to this day taking tips and investigating. So that tells me it's an open case, and this might have been bigger. Who were the people that Keegan Klein was letting use that account? Who were the people that was using Emma's account? That people are so-called saying that Anthony Greeno was dating Emma and she came up dead, and then there was an account made and somebody was using that account to lure people or something like that. Who was that? No, I don't know if it's true. These are just rumors that are on YouTube. People are making videos about Emma and Anthony Greeno. I don't know if that's true. I have no idea. Why didn't the defense name Ron Logan in their fight? Yeah, if Ron Logan played such a big part in this, they had him in jail. Why didn't they? He was picked up. Everyone thought he must have played a part, and he was picked up. No, he was picked up because he broke his probation, and they found out about it. He lied. They did the investigation work, and they found out that he broke his probation, and he was arrested, had to do his time. Now, if he was the killer or the orchestrator or had anything to do with this, don't you think that would have been the perfect time for them to come out and say we've also arrested one Ronald Logan? Do you think Ronald Logan would be that stupid to leave the bodies on his own property? I don't think so. I don't. That's like leading the police right to your front door. That would have to be the most stupidest criminals ever. I mean, that's like, you wouldn't want any death, even if you were involved in it. You wouldn't want them anywhere around your property. You wouldn't want to leave the girls on your, you just wouldn't do that. That's just leaving them right to your door. I don't know. It just didn't. 70 some years old, up and down them. He had a bad leg. He did. He was an old man. Good God almighty. To go lead the girls there, possibly not in no 49 seconds, and to do all this himself. Yeah, it's possible, but the evidence would have pointed towards it. The voice analyze professionals would have said it's Ron Logan. FBI would have came out and said it was Ron Logan. I don't know. My uncle is FBI, and I promise you, they really get tunnel vision. Yeah, they do. They do. But this case has just begun, ladies. And the reason I say that is now because they didn't have. I was led to believe they had DNA, but this person was never locked up. They didn't have DNA in them. Possibly they didn't even have fingerprints on them. But now that Richard Allen has been picked up, I imagine they will nitpick every case in this area, anywhere where he lived, that either there was an SA or a murder, and they will run his DNA and compare it with the other cases. And that's what a lot of people did not realize, Mrs. Bella, Mrs. Debbie, Mrs. ATS News, that Richard Allen might not be the killer at BG, at Delphi, but he might be a killer in other murders that have been happening down there and in other states where he used to live. And a lot of people are shocked about, what are you talking about? Well, they could have him on another case, right? Because a lot of people are saying now, well, I can't believe he's been in jail this long. What do they got? What do they got? They might not have nothing on him in Delphi, but him admitting he was there, but they might have him on other murders, possibly in other states, even down in Delphi and Lafayette area. We don't know. Let me see what Mrs. Bell is saying. It's my understanding that DNA hasn't matched. We don't know. They didn't have anything to go off of. They were waiting to find somebody, because in a couple of the videos that are out, the police said, I think Michael Catt asked, right? The great Michael Catt asked the police, you got DNA, right? But what is that saying? That this guy's never been locked up? And the cop did say, that's what it looks like. We ain't got nothing on him. We knew there had to be DNA. You don't do something like that. That guy would have had to walk in there in a hazmat suit, completely covered, gloves, hat, taped up, arms taped up, legs taped up, not to leave any DNA. He left DNA somewhere in there, on a branch, a leaf, brushing up against something, fibers, hairs. He would have had to pull this job off. He would have had to been completely taped up in a hazmat suit and unable to transfer any DNA. You don't do something like that. Now, I want to say another thing out there. I don't know if Mrs. Zavgirl's watching, but Mrs. Zavgirl played a video, and she zoomed in on the perpetrator's bridge guy's front pocket. And she was right. There's 3 or 4 circles that you can see in the front pocket, almost about the size of a quarter. 3 of them. She thought they looked like stars, but I'm like, no, they look like circles. And everybody was going, well, what is that? Is it patches or what? And the only thing I can think of is possibly these new knives that they make. They're brass knuckles, but they're also a knife. The knife flips out, and you can use it as a knife. So it's possible what we are seeing in this front pocket could be. I'm not saying 100% that's what it is, but it could be their brass knuckles, which could contain a knife inside of it. There's a gentleman out here on the side of the road that sells them. They're brass knuckles, but it's also a knife inside of it. So very well possible. It could be one of them, or it just could be brass knuckles. I don't know. What would make them 3 or 4 circles there? In a shape like a brass knuckle. I don't know if you ladies know what brass knuckles are or not. Mrs. ATS News, Bella, Little Debbie, Foxy Fox, anyone else that's in here. Brass knuckles. I know what brass knuckles are. Yes, Bella. Yeah, and I heard Libby's face was bloody. I don't know, Miss. I have not seen any photos of the crime scene. I don't know. We were led to believe that the girls succumbed to death from 2 lashes, to the throat. Each girl, their throats were lashed. And that's as far as I got into it. And being that it's a wound like that, it would have bled a lot. And it would have bled a lot even if the girls were already dead. And there would be spray because there's pressure within the jugular vein. It ain't pumping, but your veins are still holding pressure and that blood inside your veins. So it wouldn't have been as bad as if the heart was pumping and that happened. But there would still be somewhat of a squirting of fluids. Not as bad, but no, it would have bled. And it would have bled a lot. So, and we don't know. I don't know if there was other damage to the girls' bodies. We'll have to find out. But I'll tell you what, once I seen that, and he's walking with both hands in his pockets. But when you zoom in on that, you can see 3 or 4 circles in the jeans. The only thing I can think of is a pair of brass knuckles that would leave something like that, or one of them brass knuckle knives. That's the only thing I can think of. Switchblades are against the law also in some states. Yes, Debbie. Yes, they are. Johnny, I am going to send you a petition I have going for Gano's law against channels like Sabgo for putting autopsy pictures behind paywall. Oh, I don't know about that, Miss Bella. I haven't seen no crime scene photos. I don't want to get anybody in trouble. I know I do agree with you. I don't think people should sew stuff like that on. I agree with you 100%, but I think she learned her lesson. I guess a lot of people came down on her, Bella. I guess she got the hammer dropped on her. I don't think she'll be doing that anymore. I think she said she ain't doing that no more. They did, rightfully so. Yeah, I think they did. She's a nice, sweet little lady, but I wouldn't be selling crimes. You know, Bella, you missed it because we were over at Mrs. ATS News. We're over at Criminality channel the other day, and they played a video of Rick Todd and Rick Snee and PI investigator Jensen, Mr. Jensen. And before he even started asking any questions or people started talking, he came right out and told these people, you know what the law is in America. It is a felony charge to possess nude photos of any teenage kid or young kid, whether they're dead or alive. It's against the law. It's a felony to even possess them photos, or to even possess a photo of a young kid in a crime case or missing or whatever. That is illegal. It is a felony to do that. And I was all along, I'm sitting here thinking, oh my God, what are these YouTubers going to do? They all been showing Summer Wells photos, Mikey Vaughn's, Eddie and Libby's, all minors. And literally, they're breaking the law by showing their faces. Or at least the crime scene photos of them dead. What Debbie said. That's crossing the line. I agree with them. Yes, it was. But I think she learned her lesson from that. I'll tell you this much. She is good at what she does. She does dissect things. She brought up all the voice recording, cleared them up. She got all 4 of the formats of the videos. And yes, they're all 4 of them look different. But what I think it is they started off with one video, which was the original bridge guy. That's all foggy, real far away. And what they did was clean it up. And as they did clean it up, they formatted it different. So therefore, it actually cleaned the photo up itself a little bit more. And then I imagine FBI and everybody have their video and recording audio experts that went through it and cleaned it up even more. Getting into trouble is what is good, or is what she's good at. Oh, I don't know about that. I only recently started watching her after the whole Upchurch thing. Excuse me, ladies. I've been talking too much. Let me just shut my mouth and let you ladies enjoy the peaceful sounds of the fire and crickets. A great chat. This is ATS News. You must be tired. How was dinner? How was the omelets? He is being sued, Bella said. Oh, Upchurch was just here. He was here in my chat. He should have stopped in. I don't know. God dang it, he's sing us a song. Upchurch has 2 lawsuits going. Oh, good God. Thank God he's got millions. Good. And just ate a PBJ. Oh my God, she just had a PBJ. It's midnight. Don't you ladies know it's not good to eat before bed? You can gain weight that way. Now I'm hungry. I know, Debbie. Now I want a PBJ. Munchies. I know. I got some cheese puffs here. Some Chester Cheetos. But I'm too bloated right now, ladies. I forgot to take my probiotic today. Being I got no gallbladder or appendix, it's hard for me to digest food. I got a happy brain too, so I'm barely alive. I'm like your old Chihuahua that you just don't want to put down. I'm like that 15, 16-year-old dog that you can't put down, but you love them to death. PBJ with fresh bread. Oh my God, yes. Johnny, do you remember Steph? Who's Steph? Steffa? I think there's a lady in the crime community named Steffa. Why was R.A. moved, you think? I got a couple theories. I don't know if people want to hear them, but one theory is possibly he talked. Possibly cut a deal and he's on it. That'll be his permanent destination. Is that jail? I mean, like I said, Mrs. ATS News, we don't know what they have on Richard Allen. Being that they got Richard Allen and they think it is Richard Allen, therefore now they can collect DNA. So if there's any other cases down there in Delphi or Lafayette area or Idaho where Richard Allen supposedly moved for a couple years and then came back to Indiana. He moved up here, I think, somewhere around here, and then moved back down to where he was. Now I don't know if that's true, but that's what people said, that he was from somewhere else, moved here or something. I wonder if the DNA confirmed RA of the defense didn't have that yet. That's what I'll tell you. One thing, state was ready for the court date, and that's why I'm thinking they know something, because they were ready. They weren't saying no, we need more time, we need no. They were ready, and in order to have, I believe, in order to be ready like that, they must have had something on them. Something, if not the Delphi case, maybe something else. I don't know. But I would think in order to hold them, they would have had a pretty good guess or proof that was it. I have to go. Thank you, chat, and Mr. Johnny. Yes, Mrs. Bella. We're glad that you're okay. You're still alive. Thank God. We had people worried. I wasn't sure. I'm like, hey, I don't know. 3 months was the last video. Getting worried. People haven't seen you in chat. Just getting worried. You can go back to being the wild Bella Blaney now. We hope you feel better and get better, or whatever the problem was. We hope you're okay. You know, your guess is as good as mine, Mrs. ATS News. Why would they move him so far away from the court? I don't know, maybe for his protection. We don't know. He might have caught the plea like Keegan Klein, and gave up more people, right? Now you had Anthony Greeno that supposedly went to jail for a year. Why? People are saying it was his child support. I'm like, well, that's why they put him in jail, right? It was his child support. Now he's wanted again, right? They're trying to say he's in jail for child support, or they want him for child support again. I'm like, what are you talking about? He just was in jail, did a year, right? For so-called child support. And whether Anthony Greeno, like I said, I got no beef against Anthony Greeno, but whether or not he likes it or not, he's now a part of this case. And the only reason Mr. Anthony Greeno is a part of this case is because he, on camera, confessed that he was questioned in this case, and his phone was taken from him. That alone implicated him into this case as a suspect. Whether he likes it or not, I'm like, hey, I didn't say that. That was Mr. Greeno that gave all that information out to people. So whether he likes it or not, he plays a role in it somewhere. Right? Somewhere in the case, because he would have never got questioned. His phone never would have got taken. But yet people, they still love him to death. I'm like, hey, don't get too close. Don't get too close to nobody that's a suspect in a murder case, because you start talking and getting buddy-buddy to him. Now all of a sudden, now FBI, if they're watching them, or police, well, now you're buddy-buddy with them. Now they're going to question you. Now they're going to put you on the radar, because Mr. Greeno might have said something to you people. And now the police want to know what that something was. People don't listen to me. I'm an idiot, but I ain't that much of an idiot. I don't think I'm going to be hanging out with too many people or anybody. That's
The holidays start here at JC with a variety of options.
I'm sorry. Hold on a minute. Opened up a tab. Messed my old computer up. Sweet mother of monkeys. Yeah, whether he likes it or not, he's Debbie, Mrs. ATS News. Do you like the fire noise or do you just want the crickets? You're getting sleepy. Very sleepy. You want the fire? Crickets work. Debbie, you want the fire and crickets? Yes, you ladies are getting very tired. Very sleepy. Wouldn't you say, Mrs. ATS News, that anybody on camera that came out and said they were questioned in the Delphi case and their phone was taken, wouldn't that be implicating yourself into the case? Injecting yourself into the case? Now, whether Mr. Greeno did that for views or subs, that would have to be the most stupidest thing you've ever done in your life. I would say, Mr. Greeno. I mean, I don't know too much about your life other than what we've seen on YouTube, but that would have been the most stupidest thing to say you were questioned in a double murder of two young girls. Yeah, interesting themselves, much like Summer Wells' case. Yes, yes. This ATS News is right about that. You got the wild man, Ernie Shell, injected himself into the case. You got numerous people that injected themselves into the case of Summer Wells, Benny Keys, a lot of people that actually went to Summer Wells's house. They injected themselves into the case. Why do you do that? I don't know. Why? Because they must have known these people before the murders, before Summer came up. You don't just meet a stranger on YouTube and open your door to them. Right? You get to know them a little bit, whatever. Ah, the great Kelt. Kelt, how you doing? We're just sitting here talking, listening to the fire and the crickets. Was it the Blackhawks? Did he go to the Blackhawks game? We won. The Blackhawks won. Oh, you're in the southwestern U.S. Okay. Are you ladies doing okay? You need a cup of coffee, Debbie? You need a tea or anything? I'm feeling kind of nauseous today. Maybe some more tea will calm my stomach. Mrs. ATS News, I just want to say this much. If your numbers start going down, because I say anything wrong in your chat, I'm probably, a lot of people don't like me, but I don't want to damage any of your channels. So if I'm a mod at your channel and your views start dropping because I'm there, then please take my wrench. Because I would rather not be a wrench than to wreck your subs or your views. Drink chamomile, Johnny, for your tummy. I'm gonna drink some tea. I don't know, maybe I ate something. It is that time of year of cold and flu. People like you, Johnny. I'm just saying I don't want to jeopardize anybody's channel. I don't want to bring trolls to anyone's channel. And I don't want to damage anybody's credibility or channel. I'd rather leave and take a break and then come back into your chat, but not a, I just don't want to damage anybody's channel. I understand what you are saying. No, I'm a mod for a friend's channel. I try to be careful. I try to be careful what I say in other chats. I know I wasn't thinking. I just rattle stuff off. I got to get it out of my brain. And I got to remember that these people have big channels, right? And they create their whole channel and it's their show. They're the star of the show. And I don't want to steal the spotlight from anybody. Not that I could. I mean, these are intelligent women. Debbie and ATS News and Kelt and all these ladies, Bella and all that. They're very smart ladies. I don't want to. I did see that Led Zeppelin record that they were holding up today. This is ATS News. I think I have that record. I'd have to look around here. But you have the original. Is that the original press from 1970 or wait? Was that how? That was 1978. I'm not sure. It's ladies' night in Johnny's channel. It's ladies' night. And you're feeling right. Oh boy. You bring up good points, and yeah, it's vintage. If that's vintage, then it's in really good shape. You should actually put that in a glass case. Don't let anybody touch it, because it looks in pretty dang good shape. If that's the original press, I wouldn't let anybody touch it. It's ladies' night, and we're feeling I inherited it by my dad's collection. He's probably got all kinds of them. I mean, is that the only Zeppelin one he's got? Hold on, my tea is done. Good evening, Mr. Mark Klein. We're just sitting here talking, listening to the fire crickets and talking crime. Nathan Leslie's Parts is on right now, playing live. You would like it, Nathan Leslie. Who's that? He's playing live. Where is he on? Is it the bar? Wacky Jet or in Florida? What's the name? You know, JLR was live today with the storm that's coming in Florida. Where was JLR? Right in Tarpon Springs, Florida. That's where he was doing his live from. I spent a couple of years in Florida, not in jail, working in Florida, Tarpon Springs. Is the guy live right now at the bar, Kelp? This is ATS News. If you're still here, Kelp, can you figure out how JLR gets the head scoop and is on the scene no matter what or where it's at? JLR was in Delphi. You guys know that, right? When they picked up Richard Allen. No, JLR, that was JLR on screaming. Well, I hope you rot in hell, Richard. That was JLR. I'm like, wait a minute, whose voice is that? I turned it up. It was JLR. You're a rotten bastard, Richard. Hope you rot in hell. It was JLR. Debbie said JLR is transported. Yeah, Court TV always plays the clip. Yeah. Is JLR out here at Delphi? I'm like, wait a minute, he was just out on the other side of the country. How did he get in Delphi? There's JLR out here at Delphi. We're bringing it to you live right now. Right? He's asking all kinds of questions. Why did you kill the girls, JLR? Richard Allen? Like, we don't even know that, JLR. We have no idea. Why'd you do it? I hope you rot in hell. What'd Kelp say? Yeah, that was me at Delphi the other day. Yeah, I was laughing my butt out. I'm like, how did he get to Delphi when he's covering another story? He must study. That's the only thing I can think of. Teleportation. It must be. I think he was even out there at the Kohlberger case. I think he was already out there at the Kohlberger case doing another thing on another murder that was out there in Idaho. I have no idea how he does it. I don't know. He must have a G6 or a G29 plane or something. He spent many days over with escaped prisoners. I think he did it. I think I've seen a video the other day where he said he did some jail time. He's like, you're right, I did some jail time. I don't know. The rumor has it I don't know if it's true or not. I have no idea, but rumor has it he tapped into a bank and got him for like $260 trillion. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. JLR. I need you in a new movie called Point. Uh, what was that movie with Keanu Reeves and Point Break and Patrick Swayze, JLR? You're gonna be the next Point Break. Yeah, I don't know how he does it. He's good at what he does. I gotta give props to where props are due. JLR is on the scene. No matter where it is in this country, he is on top of it. Don't ask me how he teleport transfers to one place to another. I have no idea. Oh my, oh my God, that movie is from high school. Point Break with Keanu Reeves and Patrick Swayze. Oh, sure he tries harder. Are you kidding me? He's got his own JLR News hats. He's got JLR News t-shirts, even coffee mugs. Rest in peace. Yeah, Patrick Swayze. Yeah. Great actor. You got to give props where they're due. Right? Well, it's ladies' night, and you're feeling right. Oh, what? Oh, baby. He likes animals, so who does? JLR or Patrick Swayze? Who are you talking about, Dan? JLR. Yeah. Hey, he is pretty good. Right, there's a lot of videos and rumors going around that he used to be an ex-porn star, which would explain everything why the women love him. I don't know if that's true, but that's what old Betty Bullhorn was saying. He's like, good God, I'm in the wrong business. I'm definitely in the wrong business. I see Mark Klein's here tonight. A pretty boy himself of Chicago, they call him. They call him Sweetness now out there. Look, he changed his photo. He's back in high school. Now I think I do know Mark Klein when he's using that photo. Didn't you play left tackle in football? I think so. Don't let him joke you. This ATS now. He's known in the Chicago area as Sweetness, Mark Klein. I don't know why I make my tea so hot. You think I'd learn after I barely have a tongue left? Walter Payton, the only Sweetness in Chicago. Walter. You ever been down to Payton's place with Nate? Walter Payton, the great. He was Chicago. He was. I'm sorry. He was Chicago. Whenever we had trouble, whenever we couldn't score, I mean, just give it to Sweetness. He'll get it in there. He did. Mark Klein just letting you know, Mrs. ATS News is married. So just before you start smiling and putting on the charm, that's a married woman, and I'm here to protect her. Mr. ATS News, you ain't got to worry about nothing, sir. I will make sure I defend your honor. Nobody gets close to Mrs. ATS News. 8-time award-winning YouTube Black channel, plus CNN documentary and everything. All right, maybe I'm just talking her up a little bit too much, but at least award-winning YouTube channel. No, that's a little bit too close, Mr. Klein. You'll have to step back a little bit. That pretty boy charm ain't working here, mister. I mean, and leave Debbie alone. That's my chat wife, too. I'm just joking. I'm not joking about Mrs. ATS. No, she's off limits. And so is Debbie. But Johnny, remember when the fridge got a touchdown in the Super Bowl? Do I ever remember the fridge? How is the fridge? Matter of fact, the way the Bears are playing today, get a hold of the 1984 team. Whoever was alive left, bring them back. They can't do no worse. Put them in the wheelchairs and the oxygen tapes. Get them on the front line. Give the ball to the fridge. They can't do no worse than what they did. Is McMichael still here? Good God, I hope so. What about Ogun? I hope he's there too. Somebody get Dent. Call Dent. Get him in there, Richard Dent. Somebody call somebody and do something for our Bears. This is unbelievable. If someone called Dicka, get him back in there and let him smack some people around. Get a hold of Funky Jimmy, our quarterback, right? Get a hold of Jimmy. He's still alive. He can't be doing no worse than what these Bears are doing. Somebody get out of there. I own the Bears now. I'm going to have to bring in a whole new team. McMichael is very sick. Oh, my God. I hope he makes it. Why didn't you tell me this? Why is it not flashed in a bat signal up in the sky that one of our Chicago Bears, the great McMichael, is very sick? The hell with Chicago if you ain't going to let us know. This is unbelievable. Sweet Jesus, he's under 120 pounds. This is unbelievable. Are his fingers still all twisted up like a pretzel? Them were broken fingers, folks. They're unbelievable. They just don't play football like they used to no more. Wasn't it McMichael that said he used to break people's fingers when he would tackle them? I think one of them bit an ear. I'm not sure. He twisted an ankle and everything. That's when football was football. Now it's a bunch of people, don't hurt me. No, run over that way. Poked an eyeball out, I think he said one time. Yeah, he poked an eyeball out. That's the way football was played back then. Dan Hampton is my friend, neighbor in Indiana. My God, he was Hampton? God, he broke many fingers. These guys were heroes. God rest the 84 all the way through the 86 years. The Bears. I don't care if we ever win another game. At least we have that. You know what I even got? I even got the Super Bowl Chicago Bears poster. The hell with all your teams. How easy they forget when we won the Super Bowl. Not once. Didn't we win it twice? It's been so long I can't even remember. get back. Not none. Debbie? You all right? Chevy poster. Yes. Yes. You remember Mark, you remember the Super Bowl shovel? The video that was out? Right? You know you're badass when they go ahead and give us their own song and video. The Chicago Bears, the Super Bowl shovel. We're gonna do the Super Bowl shovel. Yeah. Yeah. Break it down, yeah. I don't think any other teams had their own songs, gentlemen and ladies. How easy they forget about us, don't they, Mark? Huh? Bears suck, Bears suck. They might now, but remember when we won? They gave us our own rap song. Gonna do the Super Bowl shuffle? Super Bowl shuffle? The Bears. Oh my God, it is so late. I wasn't thinking. This is an hour 30 video. You know, I was going to do this video to get you ladies to sleep because you ladies stay up way too late. You ladies need to get to sleep early. It's 12:30 at night. Debbie, are you laughing at my Super Bowl shuffle? Debbie, the Chicago Bears had their own song. After we won the Super Bowl, millions of people came to us and said, we need a song. And therefore, the Super Bowl shuffle was created with the crazy man himself, Jimmy McMahon, with Sweetness himself, Walter, and all the Bears. And we commenced to doing the Super Bowl shuffle all over their asses. And afterwards, we commenced to the biggest outdoor barbecue ever in history. They say more meat was eaten there than ever that a T-Rex could have ate that much. But of course, us Bears did, because that's what we do. We drink beer, and we eat, and we play football. When it's so cold out, your nuts just fall completely off. And I think I seen a couple nuts rolling down the field that day when we played. Mark, you remember that day? It was so cold. Their boogers were frozen. Frozen. Their fingers were ice cubes. And I guarantee you their nutsack was frozen completely. They were out there in T-shirts. They weren't wearing full body underwear, long johns, like the rest of the teams. They were on their regular jerseys in 40 below weather. The football wouldn't even stay blown up because it was so cold. People were saying, good God, boy, this is unbelievable. It is so cold, people's breath was actually turning into snow. I think they forfeited that game because there was nobody that was going to come out and mess with the Bears that day. There was a foot of snow on the ground. I remember that day. It was unbelievable. It was great. We were just getting warmed up. It was 40 below. We were just getting warmed up. And I think they called the game. Everyone sissied out. They're like, this is unbelievable. You guys play football in this? Look at Dent. He's out there swimming through the snow. Nothing on. This is just baby shit to us. That's me. We played football in the snow. Dicka and Ryan almost got in a fight. The loss to Miami. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I remember that. Dicker was nobody to mess around with. He'd slap the shit right out of you and then fine you 50 grand and then tell you you'd better never do it again. He was badass. Well, them days are gone. The only thing we got is memories. And what else do we have? Well, old replays of when we won. And we always got the Super Bowl shuffle to fall back on it. There ain't nobody else that's got a Super Bowl song. Chicago Bears, you know. Johnny had season tickets. Remember the Fog Bowl against Philly? Fog so deep, so thick. You can cut it and make a sandwich. Put it right on top of your bologna sandwich while you're out there. No one could see anything. The only thing you could see was the lighthouse out there. We were on Navy Pier and the foghorn. Oh! Nobody could see nothing. They were throwing balls, and even the broadcaster was. I can't see shit. Can you? Nobody could see nothing. Thicker than pea soup. And when the fog cleared, who came out on top? I believe it was the Bears that day. Because we play in any conditions. Unbelievable. These guys were calling them. It's just a little bit too cold here, coach. You think maybe we can forfeit this game to better weather? Get out there, you idiots. What a day. I remember that day. What a day. So crazy. It was crazy. It was many crazy days in Soldier Field. Old Soldier Field. Many hearts were broken. Many arms were broken and fingers. Many eyeballs poked out on that field. A lot of blood history on Soldier Field. A lot of people don't realize. No, yeah, it was just unbelievable. I loved it. But as everything else in this world, time goes on. And so did the team. Because we're not doing too good right now. I even had my Chicago Bears jacket on right now. People are telling me, you should just burn that thing, dude. Just burn it. They suck. Yeah, they do. But remember when we did win the Super Bowl? Mark, that's the only thing we got to go on until they win another Super Bowl. You know, but here's the thing. We did suck. We didn't make it to the Super Bowl afterwards, but usually we always end up winning our division. Right? We always end up winning our division, but we fall short at the Super Bowl. Well, yeah, last time I heard they bought the racehorse track out there. You're going to put up a new stadium. Didn't they buy the racehorse track and they're putting up a new stadium, retractable roof? And they don't receive any money on packing. Chicago Parks do. Debbie Fox says, my grandma was a Dolphin fan. She would fight the TV. The Dolphins. Debbie, the Dolphins. You know, a bear can take a dolphin. Every time the Dolphins came to town, it was, what was that? What was that? Sounds like a dolphin. And then the Bears would give a bark. And then you hear them Dolphins again. Nah, Debbie, everybody knows a Dolphin cannot beat a Chicago Bear. Come on, woman. Packers. Them dang cheeseheads up there. Them dang cheeseheads. I'll tell you what, dang cheeseheads. I don't know how they pull it off, but somehow them dang cheeseheads pull it off. I have no idea how they do it, but sometimes, you son of a god dang cheeseheads. Now, being that I'm up here from the Upper Peninsula, I kind of like the Packers. I like the Bears. I even like the Lions. I even like Minnesota. But them cheeseheads, I'm telling you, with the cheese hats that they have and everything, right? So, Dolphins. Yeah, I don't like them. Every time they come into town and everything, you know, God, the Dolphins are here, right? Shut up. Turn you into tuna. You're in bear country now. Right? And let me tell you how the Bears used to play football. We'd break our own fingers. That's right. We'd go right up into the other team's face and say, check this out. Before the game. And even the other teams would go, oh my God, they're nuts. That's right. You got to be playing in 40, 50 degree below zero weather. A foot of snow on the ground. And that's what we used to do, Debbie. No joke. We'd bang our heads into the walls while the other team was looking. Look at guys, we're going to be on the field with you. People wouldn't even want to get on the field with us. Yeah, they were the good old days, and now everybody's turned sissified. Now here comes Mrs. Psychobabble. Johnny, it's Betty by time. Oh, good night, Mrs. Psychobabble. Have a good night. It's 12:30 here. You have a good night. Don't let the bed bugs bite. Yes, get some sleep. I'm very tired. You're very, very tired, Psychobabble. Very tired. Night, night, Psycho. Yes, Psycho. Have a great night. We're talking man stuff here, breaking fingers and running ourselves into the head, right into concrete. That was before the game to show us we feel no pain, which was very intimidating to a lot of these teams. Yes. Didn't one of our guys have a fake eye, Mark? I think one of our football players had a fake eye. I forget which one was it. He would pull the eyeball right out of his socket, right? As he was on the line, he'd reach in and grab that eyeball and he'd go, check this out, guys. They'd all be like, what this guy's acting nuts. Yeah, he'd be like, yeah, I'm going to keep an eye on you guys while I go over here. And I mean, unbelievable. He pulled the eyeball right out of his socket. It was a glass eye. I think he lost it from a thumb, 1962. I think that game was with Green Bay. He took a thumb to the eye, poked his eyeball out. He had a glass eye. He'd pull that out and show it right to the guys that were on the line and everything. He'd put it in his mouth and chew on it and stuff and then put it back in his eye. That's when crazy was crazy. I used to love watching them. Now maybe it is time for bed. I'm not sure. I want to thank the great Mrs. Debbie Fox for being here tonight. Mrs. ATS News. Hopefully she fell asleep, but probably not with my big mouth. Mrs. Bella Blaney, the great sweetness, Mark Klein. I think Fenzik lost a ball, only on ball, only one ball. Yeah. That's because it froze that year when it was like 70 below zero and they were out there playing. I'm telling you, I could have swore I seen a testicle roll right down the field. I'm like, somebody's balls are frozen. And there it goes, right down the 20-yard line. It was unbelievable that year. We were out there. The snow was piled up so high within the stadium. We actually were I think the ambulance came. We had to carry people out. They were ice cubes. By the time nobody wanted to go home. Nobody wanted to go home. We wanted to make sure we seen that we won. I remember that year. That was unbelievable. Yeah, Forensic. Yeah, I think it was him. Yeah, one of the guys lost an eyeball and everything. That's how these guys were back in the olden days. They'd pull an eyeball out right there, throw it in his mouth, chew on it, put it back in his eye. Be like, we're going to eat you guys alive. They would just run from it. There was nobody who can put up with the Bears back then. Somebody stepped on it. I think so. I think they slipped on it because it was completely frozen, Mark. It was completely frozen. And I remember the broadcaster saying, he's down on the 20. Oh, he slipped on Forensic's nutsack. And I was like, this is unbelievable. You just can't play football like this anymore. Everything is indoors. You get 6 inches of snow and everybody, it's just too cold. 40, 50 below zero weather. And it's just too cold. I think maybe we'll move it into an inside stadium. It's just, they don't make football players like they used to, Mark. My tickets, North End Zone, now 22. He would throw some snowballs to the other team. The snowball fights. Unbelievable. Soldier Field. Getting so drunk you're vomiting everywhere. Oh my God, what a party. Right? What a party. Bunch of yellow snow way up there on the third deck. Right? Bunch of people getting drunk everywhere. There's nowhere to be. There's snow all over the place. Bunch of yellow snow and everything. It was unbelievable. Step on it. Holy cows. Yeah. This is unreal. He didn't even scream. Of course, it wasn't connected to him because it froze off. It was unbelievable. Well, it's getting late. I wish I could sit here and talk to you guys about old Bears games. Bears, Detroit. One of their players died on the field in 1970. Yes. Yep. At that time, I was going on 2 years old. Yep. Remember it like it was yesterday. Remember it like it was yesterday. Yeah, I was just a young kid, pushing 2 years old. Our guys played hard back, and these kids have no idea how to anymore. I can remember being a young kid, 10, 11 years old, and this is no joke, whether there was 8 feet of snow outside or not. We would get done watching a Chicago Bears game, and then we would all meet up and play football. As soon as the game was over, everybody was on the phone. Let's meet up and go play football. Right? Our parents would be like, there's a blizzard outside. We don't care. We'd walk down to the end of the block to the field. Because at that time, it was all field. It was all cornfield out there on the outskirts of Chicago. And we would commence to playing football. Didn't care how cold it was, how much snow was on the ground. We were out, and we would pretend that we were football players. Yeah, even when I was a teenager, right? When I was 14, 15, 16, and we would get together with our buddies and go play football. We'd always pretend we were somebody. I'm Peyton. I'm Jim McMahon. I'm somebody, right? Yeah, we'd pretend. You know, when Evil Knievel came out, when I was a kid, and he would make a jump, the first thing we were doing was we were on the phone with our buddies, get the ramp set up. Did you see that jump? He almost died. And we'd be out there on our bikes jumping. Mark, we were doing this stuff in the early 70s before all these people came along, right? Will you tell these people? We were riding dirt bikes, doing all kinds of stunts and crazy. We were running into brick walls with no helmets on in football. Right? Today, everyone's like, we came up with it. We did that back in the 70s. Look at me. I'm dumber than a doornail. We did it way before you guys. Got this steel plate put in 1979, I think it was. We used to make giant ramps. Yes, Debbie, we were big into BMX, football, dirt bikes, go-karts, anything that would go fast and was dangerous. Right? Kids up to teenage years. And then I was into fast women. And they were just as dangerous as the motorcycles. Yes, baseball cards in the spokes. Yes, did that before. I also used to just make my own motorcycle sounds. Going down the street. Make my own shit up, man. Didn't care. And then there was the big phase of the motorcycle gangs when we were kids. Right? So then we thought, even though we were on a bicycle, well, automatically we were bikers. And we drive around with these chains, the chains you chain a dog up with, the real thin chains. We tie them to our bikes and everything. And then we wrote the West Haven dogs on our number plates on our BMS bikes. And we'd ride around town. Don't mess with us. I know we're only 11. But we're a force to be reckoned with. We became motorcycle gangs. We became Evil Knievel. That's what Chicago dudes did. That's what they did. Whoever was the greatest golfer, well, we were the greatest golfers. You remember when Artie Palmer was playing? Them guys we would load up the golf carts. And this is when we were 20. Half cracker than crap. Load up the golf carts with booze and go to the golf course. Who knows what we were hitting? But we were drunker than scotch. That's what Chicago dudes did. You had a Honda 70, remember them? Well, you just said you had a 175. What Mark say? I was jealous of the big wheel brats. The big wheels. I had a big wheel. big wheel myself. Nah, these superstars today, they always think they invented all this stuff. Right, don't they? They always do. We've invented it. Man, we were doing that when we were 8. Are you kidding me? Come on. Come on. By 10, I jumped 10 garbage cans. By the time I was 10, 11 years old, I had 4 concussions. I climbed a cliff one time, probably about 4 or 5 stories tall, and fell off the top. Landed on my head. No, I did not stop halfway down and have a milkshake or a hot dog or anything. I fell all the way to the ground. It's unbelievable. But that's part of being a Chicago kid. Well, it's 1 o'clock in the morning, folks. I gotta go. I got absolutely nothing to do, but it's late. Psychobabble keeps coming in here saying, Johnny, it's time for bed. I'm sorry, I'm keeping you up, Psychobabble. I had a paper route. I was rich. Both bikes were used. Now I had a Huffy BMX bike. And then one year, after I got so good at riding wheelies on a BMX bike and a 10-speed, a Huffy bike, BMX bike, my parents finally, and I was so good, I'd ride a wheelie up and down the streets all the way, full block. And then I got so good that I could ride wheelies in a circle. And one day my parents seen that. I'm like, Ma, Dad, check this out. I was doing all kinds of stuff. I'm like, what do you think? They're like, you're crazy. But I think we'll get you a new bike. And then I think I got a mongoose. They bought me a mongoose. I've had more stitches than you people have teeth. I've had more operations than you people probably have underwear. But that's what I love about Chicago. And that's what I loved growing up in the outskirts of Chicago and inner Chicago. Yeah, well, what can you do? Not much, but I had a Kmart All-Pro 10-speed. Yes. Kmart was our friend back then, Mark. Kmart was our friend. Right? You got all your clothes there, all your games, all your bikes and everything. That and Sears Roebuck. But then I got to that age, well, where one day I was looking through the Sears Roebuck catalog and I accidentally stumbled across the women's section of bras and panties, and I was all of a sudden something clicked in my head and I was like, me out. Let's just say no one in the family ever seen that Sears catalog again for many years. And that is a true story. I went straight from BMX bikes and all kinds of toys and everything right into, this is interesting. What is this? Not at a young age. I mean, what do you want? What do you want? I'm just being honest. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think I go. Maybe I said too much there. I probably said too much. And you know, the families, where'd that dang Sears catalog go? I have no idea. Here's the old one. I haven't seen the new one. I have no idea where the Sears catalog is. You remember them catalogs there, Mark? Kmart didn't have one. I'd have one of them, but the Sears Roebuck catalog. Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, what do you do? Not much you can do. It's growing up as a straight man, straight teen. Nah, well, what do you want? Not too much you can do about that. Yeah, but all right. Has everybody had a good night? It's 1 o'clock in the morning. I think I'm gonna end this video here shortly. I want to thank everyone for stopping in. Mark Klein, Debbie Fox, Mrs. ATS News, Mrs. Bella, Mrs. Debbie, any other mods that are out there. If I offended you in any way tonight, this is After Dark Adult Talk. My apologies if I did upset you or say anything rude. My apologies. Playboy's hiding. Yeah, I didn't have a chance to experience the Playboys because they really weren't in the family, but I can tell you what, I had a good collection of the Sears Roebuck catalogs. In Wild Kingdom. And you remember the Wild Kingdom, the National Geographic? Yeah. It wasn't until I hit like in my high teens that I got my hands on a Playboy book. But till then, it was usually just the Sears Roebuck catalog. Bra and panty section, yes, Debbie. And back then, Sears Roebuck had some really incredible models back then. Yeah, I was very into it. What is this? I never noticed this section in the Sears Roebuck. Well, because at that time I was only interested in the music stuff or the bikes and the games, right? All the toys. And then came that one special year where I was flipping through it and I had no idea that there was a whole woman section. And I was like, oh my God, what is this? Oh, sweet Jesus. Oh my God. I want one of these. And the parents were like, them are not toys. I'm like, are you sure? What is this? Now, need to say, they never found another Sears Roebuck in my house again. It was all, I had them all stashed away, buried underneath the house. That's all right. Now I'm going to get out of here. Psychobabble's back again. I just found my Sears bike online. Sears Gremlin Green 3-speed shifter. Oh my God. Are you telling me you had a green machine? Psychobabble? That had the 3 shifters and it also had the 2 shifters in the middle of the legs. And then you could do all kind. I remember it was called the green machine. It was like a big wheel, but it actually had shifters on it and it had, son of a gun. They don't make toys anymore like they used to. They just don't make toys like they used to. They don't. And that's the problem with this world today. These kids need to experience life on the edge. Going down a city street on a green machine or a big wheel. So fast that you're just spinning in circles that you flatten out the tires. You remember the plastic tires on them? The hard plastic? You'd be doing so many spins, it would flatten them out. And then when you went to go ride it, it'd be like, ba-ba-boom, ba-ba-ba-boom, 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 all the way down the street. That's what's wrong with this world today. These kids haven't experienced jumping 10 garbage cans on a BMX bike when they're 12, 13 years old. And that's the problem with this world today. Banana seats like a Cadillac. Yep. I love that bike. Oh, God almighty. It was a bike. And they also had the Green Machine Big Wheel. Psychobabble. I think it was called the Green Goblin. One of the kids got one in the neighborhood. Every kid was just almost an erection. Everyone was like, oh my God, I gotta have one of them. I think it was called the Green Goblin. It had giant mags on the back of it. You sat on it. You had 2 levers like a tank. And it was just unbelievable. I gotta get out of here. This is too much. And that's the problem with this country. You kids are locked up playing games. You ain't never ran your head on a bet into a concrete wall to see if you get knocked out or not. You ain't never broke a finger just to break one to see if it would break. You guys are, you just, I don't even want to talk to you people. It's bringing me back to old memories. You remember going to holidays and you go the eggnog, right? The deviled eggs and eggnog and all that stuff at the family get-togethers and everything, right? And then after you get done eating, you get home, you call your buddies, and they're like, football game, Thanksgiving. There'd be 20 of us out there playing football after eating, throwing up on each other if you ate too much food. Just give me the ball. Let's just play. You kids today, look at all the guns and madness. Bunch of idiots. You never ran yourselves into a wall. You never broke a finger or an arm or a leg. You still got half of you kids today have a full brain. I lost mine when I was 15 and continue to play high school football and wrestle. Brain damage. Why? Because we loved it. We were born and raised in Chicago and we were proud to be Chicago people. Proud. Now I gotta get up here. You guys are making me sad remembering all my old times and everything. I hit the front brakes on my 10-speed too hard. One of my buddies did that when I was young. He was pretty good at riding wheelies too. We both were riding wheelies at the same time down the street. And he didn't hit his front brake. He hit his back brake. And he came down so hard, I'm not joking, front wheel collapsed. And he commenced to do a face plant into the concrete. And I ain't never seen so much blood in my life. It scared the shit out of me. He survived it. But that's what I'm talking about. Have you guys ever ran into a mailbox doing 20 miles an hour down a hill in a suburb and about to decapitate yourself? You kids don't know what fun is. I gotta get out of here. All this old talk is making me depressed. Unbelievable. I need a woman now or something. Debbie? Nah, I'm depressed now. Nah, I'm missing my old childhood times in Chicago and everything. Son of a, you guys did it to me again. Unbelievable. Don't be depressed. I am depressed. You guys don't know what it was to grow up in Chicago. You have no idea what it is to run into a mailbox. You don't know nothing. Nothing. You ain't lived life. Now everybody so. You guys want to play dodgeball? We played dodgeball with bowling balls. I ain't got time for you sissies. Mark, tell them I ain't got time for these sissies. This is unbelievable. Yes, Debbie, I was on my BMX bike flying. Down the hill, I was Evel Knievel. Right? I went to go jump a curb and accidentally didn't realize that there was a mailbox too close to the curb. Yes, I hit the mailbox. Yes, I did have an imprint of a mailbox on my forehead. But that's what being a kid in Chicago was all about. I can't go on no more with this. You're making me too depressed, Debbie. You're making me too depressed with bringing up all this old accidents and everything. One time in my driveway, My parents, my grandfather went to work, and my parents went to work. And we set up a ramp in my grandfather's driveway. We set up 8 garbage cans. And we were jumping garbage cans all day until one of my buddies jumped the garbage cans, and Chris walked in front of the goddamn garbage cans. And I think it was Bradley hit him square in the head with the front tire. I knocked the shit completely out. And that was the end of jumping garbage cans in my grandfather's driveway. I remember that day. I gotta get out of here. I'm too depressed now. I'm talking about old days. My kids are jealous of the our something thing we did. Even the music we had. The music back then. Styx, REO Speedwagon, Bad Company, Blues Brothers, Doobie Brothers. The list goes on and on. Chicago, the band Chicago. But back then they were Chicago Transit Authorities. Right? No, my God. And when we vacationed, where did we go? To God's country. Upper Peninsula, Minnesota, Wisconsin, outskirts of Canada. Because that's where Chicago's people went when they went on vacation. Now you guys sit here and talk about your sissy days when you were growing up. But I'll cherish my Chicago growing up days. Where sometimes we just would punch each other in the face just to see who would get knocked out and who wouldn't. And you guys got a lot of catching up to do these days. I think you should toughen up your kids a little bit out there, world. Get them a big wheel. Let them run into a mailbox. Get them a BMX bike and let them jump over a fence. Set a ramp up, jump over the fence. Get a sled and put it on your roof when it's snowing and let them snow off into the yard. It's only an 8-foot drop, unless you're 2 stories up. That's 16 foot. The kid's just going to break a leg. That's it. Maybe a little bit of brain damage. You ain't lived until you live, as I did as a teenager. And some of my friends were more stupider and crazier than me. I gotta get out of here. You guys are making me depressed talking about Chicago, hometown. My kind of town, Chicago is. My kind of town, Chicago is. My kind of town, Chicago. I miss you. I gotta get out of here. I don't want to talk about it no more. It's depressing. All right, folks. I want to thank everyone for stopping in. It's been a lovely night. God bless you all. You're all great. I hope I made some of you laugh. I hope you had a good time. If there's any ladies out there, I hope I'm so sexy you just can't live without me. That would be okay too. Now, I must go. There's a lot of talk that there's actually a movie in the works. Somebody's trying to find somebody to play me, but there is only one Johnny Kramer. There ain't nobody who can play Johnny Kramer like Johnny Kramer. Well, maybe one day. Now, you folks have a great night. Debbie, I want to thank the Debbie of all Debbies, the great Debbie Fox, better known as AKA Foxy Fox Debbie. I want to thank her, one of the greats. Mark Klein, some of the ladies in Chicago call him the Sweetness, AKA the Lady Killer. Mrs. ATS News, 20-time award-winning YouTube plaque winner plus CNN documentary is one of the greats. Bella Blaine and all the rest. Mrs. Cold Truth, who is a mod but could not be here tonight because she's probably sick of me. And most of all, our great troll, Psycho Babel, who I don't know why he keeps busting everybody's chops, but you're counted as one. And if I missed anyone, my apologies, but I gotta get off this thing. I am so depressed right now thinking about home, the olden days. God bless you all. Have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow or in a couple days. I need a break. I need a break. I think maybe tomorrow I'll just take time and look on the old satellite photos of my old neighborhood. Right? The old neighborhood, West Haven. A lot of people are like, my God, ain't there a West Craven? Yes. There is a West Craven. But really, it was called in the first edition West Haven, which was out in Orland Park, right next to Bremen Town, Tinley Park, Orland Park. Well, actually, it was Orland Park, but it was a subdivision within the. I want to give a shout out to Andrew J. High School. I think it was Andrew J.W. High School. Andrew High School in Orland Park. Some great times there. Great times. You folks have a good night. God bless. See you.